Reunion. Hello, y'all. I was selling crack on a private jet up in the hell and back. But no confusion, this a reunion. Hello, y'all. Welcome back. Get murder here. He counting money. He said, "Can man, the hell with rap. I'm only here to shit on niggas and piss on bitches. Welcome, ass. I bought jewelry and bikes, nigga. Black Benzes and white Vickers. Now I'm out here and I'm looking for more chandeliers and light fixtures. Nah. I don't like niggas, what's wrong with me? I'm a hype nigga, but this 44 turn to Michael Jordan. I look and say, take flight, nigga.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is sponsored by Underdogs Fantasy. The app is an easy way to make some cash just by making picks on your favorite players. Underdog is available in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, and New York, just to name a few. Make sure to support the show by hitting the link in the bio and downloading the Underdog Fantasy app. They'll also match your first deposit up to $100, and you get a special pick when you sign up. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts Mase and Cam, and today we are joined with our analyst Maurice Clarett.
Good, everybody.
Mo was killer. What's good? Mo, what's up, man?
What's going on, baby?
Chilling, man. What y'all got going on?
Really nothing.
What are you talking about? 8 in the morning, man. Breakfast, nigga. Egg McMuffin. Hey, yo, Murder. Yo.
Yeah.
People starting to say we never in the same place at the same time. We might be the same person.
Yeah, they're saying you're a clone, because I'm not.
Nobody said that.
What?
You just made that up. Nobody said that. Nobody said that. You just made that up. Nobody said that. Yo, let me ask you a question, though. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but we made Complex's top list of funny people. Did you see that?
Nah, I didn't see that. The top funniest people.
Yeah, we number 16, but it's like comedian, like Drewski's number 1 and Funny Marco and Desi Banks and shit like that. It's mad comedians on there. And we on the list.
Funny Marco? Drewski?
Yeah, they got us number 16. I was like, damn, I wasn't even trying to be funny. I guess the truth be funny sometime, I guess. Niggas here lie so much. But shout out to Complex, man. I'm happy to make any list, I guess, man. I appreciate the love that y'all showing us, man. And thanks to the people who think that we're funny without trying to be funny. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, good thing they'd say Funny Marco and not another kind of funny.
What? Time to change the list.
Yo, you smoking today, nigga? You back? You on some flocka this morning, huh? What are you talking about, man? Got back to the crib. You smoking that shit, huh, man? Anyway, man, I didn't know if you seen the list, but yeah, we in the top 20. But it's cool, I guess, because it isn't, everybody else is pretty much comedians up there. Outside Gillian Wallow's on the list too. They're in the top 20. And outside of that, I think it's people. The reason I think it's dope is because we're really just being ourselves, telling stories, saying how we feel about shit. And I don't try. The reason why I think it's dope for us is because everybody else on the list is trying to be funny. Like, that's their job, to be funny.
Yeah.
We're
just telling the truth.
Yeah, so shout out to Complex. I just brought that up. I didn't know if you know about it or not. I'm just finding out late last night.
Yeah. And I'll just add my two cents. I think it's dope. Y'all are funny to me. And like you said, they don't even try. They're literally just like this. So y'all see their authentic selves. So congrats to y'all for sure.
Well, thanks, man.
Of course. Okay. And then Maurice, how you feeling before we get into the questions?
All is great, man. I never have a bad day when I come up here. It's all good. Life is good. Life is great. All is good.
Good, man.
Dope. Agreed. Okay, so let's start with Tom Brady. So he was inducted into the Patriots Hall of Fame this week. And the quote that he said that stuck with a lot of people, he said, "The truth is you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts." So with what he said, what did you think of his quote? And then how do you guys feel about him being inducted this week? Maurice first.
It's in par with his career, and I agree with him saying that you don't have to be special. I don't think that I was a special talent in my life. I really believe that just my success within sports just came from consistently working, consistently going to the weight room, consistently hitting the track, and were people who are a little bit more talented than me, where they probably left their foot off the gas. Like I was able to just create so many habits that eventually transferred to the football field and brought me success. And if anybody knows him, when Drew Bledsoe got hurt, he was the guy who stepped in, and he wasn't an all-star at Michigan. He was a very good player, but he wasn't nothing spectacular. And I think just being consistent over time, having good coaching with good Bill Belichick, through circumstances, having great defenses, it just rings true with his story. Like he didn't have like Michael Vick speed. He didn't have some big amazing arm where he was throwing the ball 70, 80 yards down the field, that some attributes that other players have. And so his deal was knowing the game, being prepared, and things of that nature. So I actually agree with it. And even in business right now, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but man, I wake up every day, 5 in the morning. And just through consistency in business, I think that's how I've had success. So I would agree with him. And I think that most people probably could take something out of it. And these guys will probably say the same thing in the music game. I'll be waiting to hear y'all of like how that may translate to people just with music in general, or y'all thoughts on it.
Yeah, this is really a great statement, and is very eye opening for even children that are watching. That this is literally all you have to be. I mean, in a nutshell. And I think it was so profound that he would say something like this. Like some people would say, is a grasp on the obvious, but sometimes the obvious is the obvious thing that people are not doing. They're willing to work for it. Like every day they're willing to be consistent. Like I'm just better than I was yesterday. It doesn't mean that I'm phenomenal today, but every day I'm getting better. Every day I'm working just to be a little bit, even it's a little bit better than yesterday, and constantly doing that over time will just create so much space between you and your competitors in any field that you're working on. Some people are just a victim, like Killer say, of the moment, and because they're victims of the moment, they just stay the same. It's not that they weren't talented, they just never got any better. They're still the same, and the people around them that end up like Tom Brady, they were just getting constantly better, constantly faster, or constantly stronger, whatever it is that they were working on. And it just created so much space between them, and you look back and say, man, I remember me and this person was on the same level. I remember we were eye to eye. I remember, or I used, what's even worse than that is that when people say, man, I used to look up to this person. I know there's people like me and Killer and Mo could laugh about it and be like, man, you remember you used to think this person was the epitome of this thing. And now you're like, man, where are they now? So I definitely agree with this statement that Tom Brady has made.
Yeah, I don't really have too much more to add. You guys definitely summed it up very, very well. What I'll add to this is one thing. Tom Brady is the perfect example of when preparation meets opportunity. A lot of times you
Yeah.
don't get the opportunity. And sometimes you may get the opportunity and you're not prepared for it. Or sometimes you're well prepared for it and don't get the opportunity. What if Drew Bledsoe doesn't get hurt? What if Drew Bledsoe played another 5, 6 years? And we never would have got a chance to see how great Tom Brady is. This is a perfect example of preparation meeting opportunity, and always stay prepared. So you guys summed it up really well. I don't have too much more to say outside of what you said. I thought you guys did great. But remember, man, always stay prepared because you don't know when your opportunity is going to approach.
I would love to just add to that. That's a great point. And like, if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. I stand by that. That is why I've gotten even small opportunities that I've gotten that have grown into bigger opportunities. So great advice. Shout out Tom Brady and congrats into being inducted. Okay, so Saudi Arabia advisor Turkey Al Sheikh wants to buy out main boxing promoters and make one league. He wants to bring Matchroom, Golden Boy Promotions, and possibly others under one roof. The new league could be worth between $4 billion and $5 billion and rival UFC. Do you guys think that this is a good idea? How do you guys see this playing out? Maurice first.
Well, I think two things about it. The first part of me is that there's something I love about small business and all these promoters being able to like have their enterprises, have their fighters, have their camps. There's something that I do enjoy about that, right? But in the current system, I see a lot of people talk two things about boxing. They talk about boxing is corrupt, and they always talk about boxing not being able to put on premier fights because certain people are aligned with Top Rank, and then certain people are aligned with other promotion companies. And as a fan, you don't get the great fights. And when I look at those guys in Saudi Arabia, you see they've been, or wherever they're at, I don't know if I've messed up the actual destination, but all of those fights where Deontay Wilder just fights, these guys, their economic situation doesn't depend on fighters fighting, right? And so I think with that, they can put on more cleaner fights or just match up who's supposed to be match up and get guys paid the way they're supposed to get paid and take this American industry or this thing that's been a great American sport, bring it over there or put the sport on wherever, and you'll have a better product overall. So like the small businessman in me is fighting for like or leaning more towards guys being independent and having autonomy. And then the other side of me is saying like, hey, if they go over there, maybe boxing may not be so corrupt. Maybe you may get the better fights, or maybe you may get fights that you've always wanted to see sooner, and you won't get guys fighting at the end of their careers, and maybe everybody being elusive about not wanting to get a loss on a record won't mean as much because that's how the UFC is. Dana White makes sure that he pairs people together to fight.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about this, but one of the first things that jumps out to me when I even hear of this news, even being in the making, is that could this be a part of what Floyd was doing over there all this time? You know, in the
Oh,
back shadows, could this be something that he's mysteriously over a part of or ushering into the United States where everybody was just oblivious to what he was doing, and they're working on creating this league where all of the belts come together. I mean, you got the four sanctioning bodies, and think about if all of these things come together, it'll be the first time that we can have legit world. You have legit world champions. I know people use that, but now you would not only have a legit world champion, but oftentimes those fights doesn't get made because it's not enough money. People are always searching for the money. You hear guys like Leonard Ellaby always talking about, well, boxing is about the money, and it's not time for that fight yet because what they're really saying is they cannot find the money. Well, what this would do is present that money. We talking about over $4 billion. We will have money to see all the fights that we want to see, which means we will no longer be waiting for those fights. They will be happening faster, and a lot of the excuses will go. A lot of the excuses will have to be done away with because now not only do we have the money, but we have a community in which they will further push for those fights. So we would have got this fight with Devin Haney much faster. Javante fighting all three of the other guys that we've been waiting for them to fight. Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford would have happened probably like 2 years earlier. And I just think that that leads to a whole different league, and it will become a league like the NBA. It will become like that type of thing where you're gonna fight these many fights, and then after you fight these people, we're gonna push you up from 140 to 147, and everything will be more organized. So I'm a firm believer of it, and I agree they should do it. There's more money and better fights. That you could use that tag, but make sure you pay it is what it is. more money, and better fights. And if you pump it up like that, pause, everybody will look forward to that kind of league.
Yeah, both of you guys had great takes on it. Miles basically summed it up. Seriously, because niggas is always making excuses not to fight. And I dig it. Y'all niggas want y'all money. I understand, and so on and so forth. But the one thing that the guy did say, or the statement that Stat read, was the rival of the UFC. Because the UFC, you're not waiting for no fights. Good fighters is fighting tonight. Two niggas beefing yesterday, they fighting tonight. Dumb niggas is not waiting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dumb niggas is fighting. Everything is about money over here, which I get it. Your life's on the line, but at the end of the day, we see y'all niggas fighting more on Twitter and interviews, so on and so forth, than the ring. So everything Mase said was 100% correct. I totally agree with it, because I'm almost at the point with certain shit where I don't care no more. When niggas be like, yo, what if Terrence Crawford, I heard he about to fight Canelo in November, supposedly.
Yeah.
I can't sit here year after year and go over supposedly what's supposed to happen and don't happen. What I will say is this. The reason why I think this will happen is because the people in Saudi Arabia or whatever location we're talking about, Mo, they look at us like broke-ass niggas. Like, y'all niggas fighting over this? Get the fuck out of here. Yo, cop all them niggas, man. Yo, bring the whole, matter of fact, cop the whole league. The fuck you mean niggas beefing over $50 million? Make that the night, nigga. Fuck it. These niggas pop. Whole America. Yo, cop the whole boxing. I'm tired of doing one fight, Dion. Cop the whole shit. How much do it cost to cop the whole shit?
Yeah.
They be like, nah, it's WBC, it's WB. Cop, I said the whole shit. Cop all them niggas, man. Throw a bill. Matter of fact, throw $2 billion out there, cop everybody. That's how they looking at niggas. That's real. That's a fact. And if that's what get us to get what we want to see fight-wise, like Mase was saying, so be it. That's just the case. But they ain't respecting our money. Niggas looking at us talking about, hold up, let me get this right. The number one nigga is not fighting the number two nigga because one nigga want 20 million and one nigga want 15 million, and they can't seem to gross 10 million together. Cop them niggas.
Yeah, that's all them niggas want.
Yeah.
That's all them niggas want.
Yeah, man. And they figured it out, so then they test running it. Like you say, you're sneaking Deontay over there. Other fighters come over, they say, oh, niggas really showing up. Cop everybody, man. They for sale. I ain't knocking them. Because listen, like you just said, or Stat read the number. And then Mase, you reiterated it. Nigga says $4 billion. We gonna see all the fights. We gonna get broke niggas. All of us, look at us. We gonna see everything now. ain't nothing gonna be missed after this. We all sitting home like, yeah, if they do $4 billion. These niggas like, yo, what else can we buy? What else we got? Meanwhile, we over here thirsty. Me too. I'm not exempt from that. I'm agreeing with it. Me too. Yeah, cop these niggas so we can see what we want to see. But that's what's going on. That's a fact.
Yeah, they're like, yo, ain't no more PBC, nigga. Yeah. Everything under us. All them niggas. Who? Bob Arum? Yeah. We got all them niggas, man. All them niggas
bring them with you. Bring them with you, nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
How much I gotta pay you to leave your man? You coming?
That's what I'm saying. They tell nigga, and they got something for your man. Take a walkaway fee.
Yeah, like, yeah. But what about him? Don't worry about him. We already got him. What's your number?
Yeah, exactly. That's what's going on. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see the and then when they put the fight on, man, they make it look like an Olympic level presentation. When they did the Fury and the Francis Ngannou fight, and I'm pretty sure it's the same place, but man, they made it look like spectacular. And they know, ain't nobody in America doing nothing like that. And so I'm pretty sure that they weighing that in as well.
Better presentation.
I remember when who was that? I think it was Usyk and Joshua was fighting, or one of them. They built the whole arena just for the fight. They
Yeah.
said, nah, not only are we going to get the fighters, we're going to use them to build our whole arena. We got a purpose now. Now you got all of the sheiks and everybody flying in just to watch these fights. So they came up with a lot off of that. It looked like the Gladiator Arena or something, like in Rome, which was crazy.
Yeah, but on a deeper level, when like Cam just said it, America is so broke that they're taking our prominent industry. So they're looking at Bob Arum like, nigga, you old. Don King, you out of here, right? The rest of you young niggas can be bought. Oscar De La Hoya, you fighting with Canelo on the internet every day about fighting David Benavidez. So let's just throw a couple dollars at these niggas and really steal a whole industry. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I see it. But I get it. I know we move on. I can go on for days and days about it.
Yeah, if they get David Benavidez and Canelo, that would be a great fight to do in Dubai. That would be excellent. They build another arena for that.
Yeah, they heard Canelo talking about that 200 million. They're like, all right, we got it.
Yeah.
That would be sick to bring all the fights we always wanted to see, but you're gonna come to Dubai for it.
You just gonna be watching them at 4 in the afternoon, though.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, they figured out.
Okay.
And then the girls wouldn't mind either. There'd be more money than they made in Vegas, so they'll be looking at that too. So it's a win-win for everybody: the boxers, the thoughts, everybody win.
Yeah.
Good point, Mase. Okay. So now let's discuss Marshawn Lynch. So he's going viral for clips circulating at his youth football camp and the moms who actually went off on him for cursing around their kids. In one clip, there's a video of a mom saying that as a result of him cursing, her son was in tears. So what do you think of the clip and how he's been handling the mothers and what the mothers had to say to him in response? Maurice first.
Yeah, if anybody follows me on social media, they've seen me talk about youth league sports and youth league coaching extensively, and I'm sensitive about this topic. One, I want to be sensitive to the mother who said what she said, or her feelings in regards to her child. But I'll say this, man. I kind of hate where youth league sports are at, and I'll put this disclaimer: I hate when I go to practice around my kid and everybody got their fucking phones out and want to record everything, and they've made youth league sports turn into like some fucking zoo of some sorts. Like that's the first thing I want to say. One, or the second thing I wanted to say was that I'm not mad at Marshawn Lynch, and I come from the era where when a kid goes to practice, I even do this to myself now. When a kid goes to practice, I let the coach, who's ever coach my kid, knowing whoever the coach is may be a little bit intense, or I'll know the background of the person I brought my kid to, right? Youth league sports is supposed to establish like a standard of like engagement into the sport, your approach, your seriousness. And, the coaches, they trying to develop that. And, when you're talking about somebody like Marshawn Lynch with a nickname as Beast Mode, that should give you an indication as to who's talking to your kid, who he is, and you know what I'm saying, what's going on. And the irony of the whole clip is that she was crying, but that same thing that she's exemplifying is basically in her kid. And through sports, you're trying to knock the bitch out of a kid. You're trying to get the seriousness of a kid. You're trying to establish a standard of how you need to approach this thing. It's just a discipline. And so I get it. I don't want to sound like I'm bashing women or mothers, but I think that everybody, if you bring your kid to a practice, you should research the coach and let the coach coach your kid, no matter how tough or how hard it may be. But they're developing and bringing something out that probably isn't in the kid in the first place.
I know this is a sensitive topic to many when it comes to kids and it comes to parents, but exactly what you're saying is food for thought. When people are bringing their kids to practice, especially when a mom is bringing their son to football practice, you're 100% right. He's reiterating the behaviors he's seeing her, and now he's trying to play football. The problem is that you sent them to the beast mode camp. That's the problem. That I think the title explains itself. This is beast mode. this is not the regular football camp. This is Marshawn Lynch. There's certain places you go, you should expect what you got. You didn't actually get everything. That was just a portion of it. You sent the boy to beast mode camp. What he's saying is what Marshawn Lynch think is necessary to bring the beast out of your child in the area of football, not in his character, not in his personality off the field, but on the field. You don't need him to be a therapist on the football field. And sitting there talking about, oh, breathe and relax now, Tony. Let's say the kid's name is Tony. You don't need him out there with that mindset trying to play football. And I think when it comes to these type of camps or any type of program, you got to know the program you're sending your child in. And if we was talking about college, if we was talking about high school, even if you was talking about middle school and you talking about football, there is coaches that feel like when you bring your kid to um my team or my camp, it is almost like you're turning your kid over to them. So that I hate people that try to coach their kids from the sideline. I really hate that. Being a person who is coaching youth sports, that's one of the hardest things to deal with is somebody on the sideline thinking their kids should be in the game, telling you that how you're dealing with the kid. Now we know that cursing at the kid and doing those such behaviors is not cool for certain people. But I would say if you brought him to somebody like Marshawn Lynch, you would have to trust his process. The same way in Philadelphia, we had to trust their process, even though it didn't work. We definitely can trust Marshawn Lynch process when it comes to kids for beast mode, not just for anything else, for beast mode.
How can
Now,
we?
should he spank the kid?
How do you know we could trust this process with kids? You seen them around kids like before this?
Um,
You seen
that's
them
a
at a
great
daycare
question.
center?
Yeah.
You seen them at a daycare center? Like
That,
where'd you see them babysitting?
that,
How do you know we could trust
that's
them
the
around kids?
that's the great question. It's no different than if I want my kid to be a gangster and I send him to old dogs camp.
Okay,
If you want him to be a gangster, then old dog camp would be great for him.
right. You also said, I want to go back to a couple things you said. You said that you're a firm believer of hating, or that I get that you don't like parents who coach from the sideline when
Yeah.
when you're coaching. So what you did was got your son his own team and you coached it. So you wouldn't be a parent from the sideline coaching. You would be the actual coach. That's better than coaching from the sideline. That's what you saying? Go get your own team. so you
That's
won't
one.
be.
That is one remedy to it.
Okay.
As you see, most parents who have the means that think they know better, that is what they should do. LeBron has done it. Carmelo Anthony has done it. I have done it.
I was just wondering. We
I'm
don't
in
see
great
LeBron
company.
coaching no Mace. We never seen him coaching. He be at the game. I never seen him
Oh
coaching.
yes, he was.
I believe you.
Yes,
I'm just
he
asking.
was.
I didn't see him coaching. So he actually coached his son before? I don't know. I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I got the idea from.
Okay. I ain't know. I ain't know. So you said I ain't gonna be one of them parents that coach from the sideline. I'm gonna just go get the team and coach the team, so I don't be one of them niggas. That's basically what you're saying.
Yes, because
Okay.
that's horrible. Because and also, it you got to think about this, Killer. If you had a child that was let's say you had a child and he was six, let's say he was 6'4",
Yeah.
and he played guard.
Right.
It's gonna be hard for you to have Jingle telling you that he's bringing your son off the bench with the third unit.
And he's
What
he's left-handed.
yeah, what are you gonna do? Are
Yeah.
you getting your own team?
Yeah,
Or
no,
you leaving?
I'm not. No, these are all questions. I'm asking. I'm just because I know. I'm not being.
Yeah.
I'm
So
asking.
I'm asking you a question.
Oh,
So Are you letting your kid come on the third unit?
I'm gonna have a talk with the coach before I make a move. But so
This
let
is the same thing. This is the same thing. God bless that. Kobe did. How you think
yeah,
he got
this
the
is true.
team Mamba?
Yeah, this
He
is
said,
true.
"You know what? I'm not sitting here watching this." And then the coach is telling you, "We're gonna have a talk with you, Mr. Bryant." You know, out here in Orange County, we're running a program that it's more about math, science, social studies. We want them to be all around good people, you know.
Right.
And he's bringing his child off the bench. Kobe is like, no, we started Team Mamba tonight. Team Mamba is being started tonight. And especially he got Nike, he got all of the resources to do it. How you think they started it? They started it because
I
it
was
was a
just
need.
asking. I'm just asking because this leads to my next
No, it's a
question.
great question.
Right.
It's a great question. It's
Right.
actually a
So
phenomenal
now let me
question.
ask you this. You're the coach of your son's team, but now a parent wants to come talk to you about what you just was talking about. You didn't want to talk to another parent about, like, I know you coaching your son and all that. And I know we got to run the offense through him. But listen, my son is getting scouted by UCLA, Tennessee, Kentucky, etc. I think we need to get him out the post and put him on the wing. What do you say to that as a coach?
What I would say to that as a coach is that me personally, I never I never actually been through that because people like my style of play. Growing up, I live by that same creed that we grew up with, that nobody has a guaranteed spot. Everybody got to earn their spot, and everybody could play on this team, but you have to play defense. Everybody can play on this team. And I'm not the person to make you a power forward. I'm not the person that say you have to play this position. And that's the beautiful thing about sports today, that everybody can play multiple positions. So what I would do is I would start, even if it was my son, I would start him at small forward because he was taller than people, then move him to the one as a backup one, then play them at another position just like I would do anybody else's child. So everybody with me were playing, so they felt like, oh, I like this team because we're running and we're upbeat every game. So people are getting tired fast, so everybody would play. It wouldn't be like somebody like, yo, Mace is over here and he's not doing this and that. And I think that's what people grew to like about me, that type of system. I played the same way. I played that team the same way we grew up, like in young life. Like niggas, everybody was out there playing, and people get so tired of running up and down, guarding full court, that you didn't have to worry about anybody playing because people were getting tired and everybody was getting to play.
That was a long answer. I would have told nigga, get your own team if you got it, nigga. Fuck you talking to me about me and my son. Go get your own team. I wouldn't have went through all that shit you just told me. Very, very, very detailed answer. I appreciate it. But I'm not moving my son to forward to make sure your son feel better. Nah, we putting him at the 2 or the 1 from the jump. Not playing that. You know what time it is. Can't play the 4 in the NBA. Now, if you don't like it, go get your own team. That's just that. I appreciate you being detailed on the answer. Back to Marshawn Lynch, because I know we've been on this for a minute. Look, they both said it, Mason Mo. We sent in the beast mode camp. I'm not going to sit here, and I'm tired of always fucking doing this week after week because it's Gen Z, boomer babies, this shit, that shit. My coach threatened to pistol with me, man. You know, I got threatened to get pistol whipped, man. No kizzy, man. My coach told me he had 2 kilos in his car and he might go to Puerto Rico and do the wild thing later. This is what he told me, man.
Yeah,
This
that's
is a
fact.
fact.
That's what he told us.
This is a fact. Mace, am I lying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he told me in order to play the point, he got to know what I would do in the ocean with a shark first.
yeah.
This
Yeah,
is the type of coaches we had. He
this
says, so if I got you at the 1, I need to know this much right now. If you're in the
in the
ocean and a
middle of the
shark is,
ocean.
yeah, what do you do? I'm like, what? I'm
Hold
talking
on.
about playing the
What's
point.
your answer, Mo? Because I remember this question. This was for everybody. What would you do? if you're in the middle of the ocean and a shark pull up on you, what would you do? Because this is a legit question that Mase is saying we was asked. What's your answer? I want to hear your answer too, Stat. What would you say? What would you do?
I'll probably be laughing like I'm doing that. I wouldn't know what to say, man.
What would you do,
you
Stat?
wouldn't.
If you in
No,
the
you
middle of the
wouldn't.
ocean,
Tell him, killer.
if
No,
you
you wouldn't be laughing.
nah, because he wasn't laughing. He was dead serious.
He
What would
wasn't
you
laughing.
do if a shark put up on you in the middle of the ocean? I'm just asking.
Oh, I don't even know. You gotta try to tussle with the shark because I'm not gonna swim faster than it.
That's pretty close. He
Yeah,
told us.
ask me what I would do.
Yeah, that's what he said. Ask me what I would do. So we was confused too. We didn't know what to say.
He said, "I'll wait till the shark get close, and I'll punch him right in the middle of his nose."
Nigga say you never know. He might be a pussy shark. Nigga might be soft.
But nobody ever knows because nobody ever swung on him.
That's what he talking
And
about.
I need my guards to be fearless.
Yeah,
I want my guards to be fearless.
Yo, nigga,
This nigga is
one of our
crazy.
teammates went to see somebody in jail. Nigga said, what the fuck wrong with y'all bitch ass niggas going to see niggas in jail? I went to see a nigga in jail. I take my belt off, my shoestrings out. I told the nigga, you the jailbird, I'm not. I know you my brother, that's your business. I got shit to do. Y'all motherfuckers scared of niggas in jail. And this is shit we had to hear. I'm being polite about it, to be totally honest with you. That man told me he'll pistol with me if I keep talking and I'm talking crazy. Period. And he told me he had 2 kilos in his trunk and a 9mm, and he might go to Puerto Rico to do the wild thing this weekend. So y'all little niggas stop telling me about crazy, because y'all niggas think y'all know what crazy is. Y'all don't know what crazy is. So
Yo, killer.
Yo,
killer. I think it worked though. I'm not gonna lie. As crazy as it was, I think it prepared us for anything.
No. This is why we can't be crying or complaining or even talking about mothers crying at camp. This all relates back to that. You raising a bitch ass nigga. For real, man. You can't do that, man. This man gonna have to go in the world without you, mom, one day, man. Start raising bitch ass niggas, man. You can't do that. Yo, you can't talk to my son like that. Mo and Mase said it best. Don't send him to Beast Mode Camp. Send him to St. Latter-day Saints, 2-hand touch. You know what I'm saying?
Football clinic.
Yeah, no disrespect before the St. Latter-day Saints come after me. Send them to I'm talking about, send them somewhere safe. Flag football, 2-hand touch. Don't send them to Beast Mode Camp. And don't think that niggas ain't gonna get cursed at. I tell you one thing about this mother. Go and see what's going on in Cam Newton camp. Nigga, go over there. Go over there and see what happens. They fighting the sponsors, the niggas who run the camp, everything. You worrying about beast mode cursing. Go over there. Some might not make it home. Everybody's fighting. Be happy you got a couple curse words, man.
Honestly,
yeah, and it's always about what you want your kids to turn into. You know, they always say, in order to know that you're dealing with real gold, you got to put the kid not in the fire literally, but you got to put them in the fire. They used to always tell me that. The cream always rise to the top. If you put a kid in the midst of all of this turmoil, he's gonna rise to the top. And I don't mean like break the kid down mentally or anything like that, but you have to allow them to grow up so they can be tough and that they can be reliable as men. That's what you want the ultimate goal to be, is to turn the kid into a better human being. And if that's a part of that process, I believe men have to be able to figure things out.
Let me ask y'all something before we move on, because I know we have to get ready to go to break in a minute. And this has something to do, no, seriously, this has something to do with what we talking about, but not really have something to do with what we talking about, but a little bit. I seen Boosie, shout out to Boosie, the other day. And I like this question. This is a really dope question. And people be thinking Boosie joking and everything else, but I thought this was a really dope question. I want to ask you guys this, is that as a parent, that your kid ain't gonna make it, but they in it. They on the team. They playing football. They playing basketball. They playing soccer. They playing volleyball. But they the last nigga on each of the teams I named. They very athletic, but they the 12th man on the basketball team. They 53rd on the football team. They only getting in volleyball if somebody gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Do you support their dream and tell them that they're still going pro knowing that they're not going pro? How do you handle that as a parent? That's what Boosie was saying. Boosie was like, I don't know what to do because I know my little nigga ain't going pro. I got to keep going to these games. I got to keep showing up, supporting. I got to act like the dream going to come true. And I know it's not going to happen. He's just not good enough. How does that work as a parent? Where do you say, your son, you should look into accounting or you should look into coaching? Because you don't want to discourage their dreams neither, but if it's not realistic, how do you handle that?
Yeah, for me, it's real. Oh, go ahead, Mace.
Go ahead, Mo. You go.
For me, it's real simple, man. Consistent words you're gonna hear from me, man, is deal with reality, and it's more or less. And I'll get more personal with this because my daughter was so smart that she skipped 2 grades, right? And when she skipped 2 grades, she was 2 years younger than everybody else. Excuse me, as she started to develop in sports. And as she started to develop in sports, she was she was basically like athletically behind everybody. So she was one of those people who didn't get in the game as much, who didn't do all this other shit, right? And I said, either I can sit here and lie to my daughter and say, hey man, you're gonna get it together one day and all this other shit, or I can have her deal with reality and get all the good shit that you're supposed to get out of sports, right? You're supposed to be on time, you're supposed to be, proud for your teammates, you're supposed to get all this
Mm-hmm.
other shit out of the sport. But I'm not about to lie to you and say that it's about to be scouts here scouting you because that doesn't fit the criteria. And I just have the thought that later on in life, she'll be like, yo, my pops was honest with me. And I've been able to deal with that honesty. And I've seen her break down. I've seen her get sad at games. I've seen it all. But I think that you let a kid down when you just lie to them and you just create like this habit of just like always selling people pipe dreams, because then at that point they're putting effort and the focus into something that won't materialize, right? And I just didn't want to do that myself. But on an ego side, I said we're gonna get something else that's right, because your self-esteem ain't about to be broken down through sports, right? And so, I'm gonna get some other shit together to build you up and all this other stuff that we do through business and things that I want to see her have success in. But me, I deal with reality. Like I'm like a firm believer. I said 1,000 times, wherever you at is where you at, and I think that parents should be like brutally honest with their kids. That if they not gonna make it, just that's my opinion and my experience.
Mm. This is really interesting because I want to give two different outlooks on this. Um, I think that not Boosie, take Boosie out of it, but that same concept. I don't believe you. In one case, I believe you should, like you all are saying, but then on the other end, I don't believe you should tell them that, because I believe certain things you figure out as you go. You one person you never want to give up on you, and that's your parents, right? So let's say if his dream is just to be on the team, that may be true that he could be on the team. It doesn't mean he has to play, because you remember on the football team, Mo, there's practice players, right? So let me give you the other
Mm-hmm.
vantage point of this. You don't want to tell him he's not going to make it, because when it comes down to being a player, as on a practice team, like we would all be athletic pause studs, right? So we all believe if we're playing the sport that we're playing, that we would make the team. I don't believe Killer would get somewhere and not make it. I don't believe I would get somewhere and not make it. I don't believe Maurice would get somewhere and not make it. So, but when it comes down to making that last spot, the real gifted athletes don't want that spot. So that spot is available. That spot on the practice team is available to the person who's high character, not always the person who's the best player. So I would disagree with what Boosie said, because can his son make that team and just be on the team, not playing, but getting on the bus with that team, practicing with that team, on the roster with that team? Probably so, because that last spot comes down to character. A superstar doesn't even want to be the last person on the bench. Do you get that concept, Mo? That
Yeah,
what I'm trying to get at?
no, I get it. I get exactly what you're saying because my daughter was that person, right? And I found a joy, like I've only developed from being like in fucked up circumstances, right? When I see my daughter struggling with that and like, man, I don't really want to go to practice. I don't really want to root for my other teammates. That's a sharpening and a refining of her because every time you're not going to be in the position, pause, that you want to be in. And sometimes there's
Yeah,
going to be people in front of you and you're going to have to support them, but support them with a good heart, right? Hey, look, sometimes people just better than you. That don't mean you have to start working your ass off, but show up every day, have enthusiasm. But I believe, like back to the Tom Brady conversation, like, how many times do you have to get up and do a bunch of shit that you don't want to do? That I think that's the lesson learned from that she probably didn't get before, but that's the message in it. Like, yo, sometimes you just gonna have to do some shit you really don't want to do. And I felt like she got more of that out of sports than, man, I went out here and got a bunch of gold medals and a bunch of highlights from high school. I don't know if that makes sense, but that was
yeah.
like a real situation with me.
Yeah, and the reason why I say that, because you even go back to looking at draft night, right? Look at draft night on the day that they were picking either Deshaun Watson or Pat Mahomes, right? Deshaun Watson was the foregone conclusion of who's the better player. Oh, his footwork. Oh, he's super athletic. Oh, this person has no footwork. Remember, if you go back and look at that clip, you're like, man, it was talking about Pat Mahomes like he didn't have any of these things. And that Deshaun Watson arm was like a rocket and he can do all of these things. So take that into consideration when you're talking about children, because at one point this was somebody's child, like thinking, and still is, that he can't do any of these things. Oh, he's a poor manager of the football. There's a clip floating around on Instagram about it. If you pull it up, Stat, or anybody pull it up, you'll see that they were giving Pat Mahomes a note in every area. And then somebody else was sitting there thinking, no, this is exactly what we're looking for. So it's all about getting the team that need what you have. Because on one team, you may be nothing on one team. Like we seen it, I forgot the little wide receiver that worked for the Patriots. I forgot his name, a little white boy but he had a great career. But if he was on another team, he would have not even started. But he was picked on the right team. That's the favor that comes with just being at the right place at the right time. And that's why I would say I wouldn't say that against a child, because some people, the best players to me that I've seen, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, and I've been watching youth sports ever since I was a youth, the best people were not the people that were the best when they were young. I think LeBron is the only person that was the best young and then ended up the best as an adult. A lot of the people that are great when they're young, they fizzle out by high school, and the other people just kept getting, like Tom Brady said, better, a little bit better, a little bit better, and a little bit better until they end up being Hall of Fame players. But they were not the best players when you think about it.
I
But
totally
excellent
disagree. I
question.
totally disagree. You know if your son's going pro or not. This ain't Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes. Both of them's going pro. We're talking about if your son is going pro or not going pro. And
Yeah.
Boosie didn't say nothing. All he asked was, what should you do? That's what he said. He wasn't putting his son up. So I don't want people
Oh
to
yeah.
misconstrue. But me personally, Mace, you made great points of people who are going to be pros. You know if somebody's going pro and they're not going pro. It's
Yeah.
not, and like you said, you've been watching since they was young. I think this was one of them not saying that. This isn't a Tom Brady work harder situation. This isn't even like God bless the dead, one of my guys who just passed, Corey Homicide Williams. He worked his ass off to even
Yeah.
play overseas. These are hard workers, so I get what you're saying, but you know if niggas got the intangibles to go pro. You know if their coordination is not right. I'm talking about an absolute no, you know damn well you're not going. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying niggas who ain't got the potential to
Okay.
go. You know
Okay.
damn well you're not going.
When you say pro,
Hmm?
now what I'm taking in consideration is
And what you said, just real
pro
quick before you
making the team.
go again, Murder, what you said I think is right in college when you're saying, you're 100% right, that the Kobe Bryant or me or you or Mo or whoever else that we consider ourselves good athletes whenever we was playing, you damn right we gonna be 11th and 12th on the bench. And yeah, those is the niggas that will take a spot because they're happy to be on the team. It's like when we went to see Kansas State play in the Final Four last year in 2023. We went to the game and we was so amazed at how many young niggas was assistant coaches with clipboards. They was like, yeah, them niggas get it. They know that they're not going. They had their clipboards, they had the water ready, they was getting the seats ready.
Right.
They started coaching in college because they saying, and me and Mase was looking at it, we was like, damn, it's about 8 or 9 students that get it. They know. So they're starting their career now. So I think in college, you're absolutely right. I think when it comes to pro, that you know who's going and who's not going. And sometimes we get a bunch of niggas, and you're not lying, Mase, the niggas ain't shit. And people that you thought were ain't shit turn out being better than some of the people that we thought were gonna be like the niggas. Like, it's a bunch of number 1 picks we could sit there and say, that nigga's a bust who's not in the league anymore. Niggas was trash. But I just think that you really, when you really know, not a work ethic, not saying that we're comparing niggas who's in the same realm. You just know. You're 4'3", you're not growing, your father's 5'6", your mother's 5'2", and you wanna be a forward. This is what I'm saying. What do you say to those people? I know we gotta move on, but that's kind of the question that I was leading to. But you guys both gave great answers though.
Now, all of these are great answers, and I'm thinking about the Muggsy Bowles and people
Right.
like that.
Yep.
Some people are anomalies, and they're anomalies to what's going on. I remember when I went to the Knicks game, and I was supposed to perform. I saw a guy that I went to college with, right? So he's pro. He went pro. He just went pro as a ball boy, but he gets to travel with his team and all this. But he was running with us, and everybody, he was like, man, I'm going to the league. I'm going to the league. I'm going to the league. I know what you're saying, Killer.
Right.
I'm like, you're not going to the league because I know what I'm doing to you falls in practice.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way you going to the league because I'm not going. But it was funny to see him, like, working for the Knicks, doing things for the Knicks. When I walked out in the middle of the thing, he was running stuff for the Knicks. So did he go pro?
No, this is what I'm talking about. Like, look, the same ring that, and it don't look good right now, and it look like it's over, but the same ring Kyrie and Irving get, or Luka get, Sham gonna get. You're part of an organization, and that means something.
Exactly. Yeah, so he's sitting there, he's like, I told you I was going pro. I just fell out laughing. His name is Anthony. He worked for the Knicks. And they was like, yo, get your jersey from him. And it was like a surreal moment. I'm like, yo, how this nigga end up in the Knicks organization? But he did.
Yeah, absolutely.
We would have told him you're bugging.
And then real quick, I just gotta agree with Cam. It's just being honest with yourself. When you know, like, I played sports in high school. If my coach putting me in fourth quarter, there's 2 minutes left, I know I'm not making it to the league. So I gave up quick, focused on academics, and I'm happy I did because I'm where I am now. So I had to give that up. You just gotta know, like, look, I'm not making it. It's just not going anywhere. Okay. We're going to go to break. When we return, we'll discuss this Lakers and JJ Redick combo. Don't go anywhere.
Harlem shit, yeah, we the shit. Shit all year round is money season. Every flip counts. I got rich over this bounce. Girl, ain't no sales in Gucci. We ain't looking for a discount. No. My man Sin City say, it's only money. It's only money. Ain't no sales in Gucci, baby. It's only money. It's only money. Why you acting funny? Yeah, it's only money.
Welcome back. Now let's get into our underdog fantasy picks of the day. So tonight, game for Mavs versus Celtics. Underdog Fantasy has Luka at 32.5 points. Do you have him higher or lower? Mase?
Higher.
Higher.
Okay. Jason Tatum is at 7 first quarter points. Do you have him higher or lower? Cam?
Higher.
Higher.
And Jaylen Brown is at 34.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Do you have him higher or lower? Mase?
Absolutely higher. MVP.
Higher.
Okay, download the Underdog Fantasy app and you can make your picks too. So the Lakers officially announced they're interviewing JJ Redick in person this weekend. We discussed a lot of different parts of this, but now knowing this information, what are your thoughts on this update? Maurice first.
I don't know. I don't necessarily. I've said it before. I don't like JJ Redick being the coach of them, but it's just hard to believe that after I see him on the podcast with LeBron, that this isn't like a strong option for the Lakers. So I don't like it, for various reasons. But I think it may have the possibility of happening just because I've seen him and LeBron get into some detailed basketball talk, and that may be enough to win Jeannie Buss over or whoever the the decision makers are with the Lakers organization.
Yeah, for me, I just think not just JJ Redick. I've been left the Lakers after Kobe left. You know, I left with Magic Johnson and that whole group. I was a lifetime Laker fan. Then after Kobe left, I just really never got back into the Lakers. So this is another decision that they'll make. Who knows how it'll turn out? But it just doesn't seem Lakerish to me. You know, I don't like the decisions they be making up there.
I think this is a recipe for disaster. I think him and LeBron having a podcast, was a appetizer for what's yet to come. Pause. But JJ Redick seems like the type that is going to throw niggas under the bus, and that's going to cause conflict throughout the season. So if something's not going right or something's not there, he looks like one of those people. And I don't know this for a fact. I don't know his coaching style or his AAU team or Pee Wee League team or Biddy's team that he's been coaching, his style. But I've been hearing that it's very intense. And he looks like one of them people to me that if shit don't start going right, he's one of them like, well, if LeBron would have got back on defense or if AD would have been where I asked him to be at or so-and-so, so-and-so. And that's going to cause conflict. And I think you have to know how to deal with today's athlete. I think Tom Thibodeau is the blueprint, so to speak, if you've been coaching as long as he's been coaching, because you can see the way he used to coach to the way he coaches today, and it's two different styles, because when he was dealing with people in the early 2000s or 2000s, you could talk to them a certain way. In the early 2010s, you could talk to them a certain way. And it got more gentle, and it got more gentle, and it got more. And he learned that. And I think he's,
Yeah.
and he knows that I got to deal with people like the mother at Marshawn Lynch's camp. I got to learn how to talk to these people because they delicate. And he's really good at it. I don't think JJ Redick is that seasoned to where he knows how to turn off his filter to work with players yet. I don't know this for a fact. I just see how intense he is when he's on ESPN or First Take or any of the stuff. He's very intense when it comes to debating or arguing or saying his point of view, to the point where you like, God damn, bro, it's all good. And I love debating. I don't like when everybody agrees with each other. I like when people have different points of view, but it gets to the point where you can see that nigga vein pause on the top of his head, and his lip is quivering, and he can't keep still because he gets himself that worked up. And is that good quality for have to be a coach, let alone a Laker head coach? I'm not sure. We'll see what happens, though. I know Dan Hurley told niggas, fuck off, kick rocks, going back to Connecticut. Mo, you gave us none of this information. We had to find out at the same time everybody else was finding out. Thanks for being our Connecticut insider. Stay your ass in Ohio, nigga.
Yeah, we have information from Suge from Connecticut.
Yeah, man. Come on, man.
I'm dead. No worries. Okay.
What's the next subject?
I'm dead. Okay. And then last thing before we wrap. So the Tank versus Frank Martin fight is tomorrow. Want to know you guys' prediction ahead of this fight. Maurice first.
Well, for the obvious reasons, I got Tank, and I'll say what I wanted to say about this. I think this has more to do with I don't know Tank's trainer name, but he's always with Tank, the older gentleman with the
Coach
glasses,
Calvin.
and I think this is him. What's you know his name?
He has a couple,
Calvin
but I think Calvin,
Porter.
Coach Calvin, yeah.
Coach Calvin, and I think about Derek James coaching up Frank Martin. And I don't know why. I just like the chemistry between those two. There's like a humility. There's like a respect. There's almost like an organizational structure between those two. And when I always see his demeanor and when he's always talking about Tank is prepared, it's like he knows that he's done enough to put Tank in that place where Tank needs to be to fight. And I always see Tank hold him in high regard. And I just like people who understand order and respect and like outwardly display that. And I think to myself, like, Derek James hasn't been able to get it done with guys, right? I know the Ryan Garcia thing has PEDs all smeared over, but when you look at Earl Spence, when you look at the Charlos, and then now this being a big fight, I just say, man, is there another element of that with the person being in your corner and losing these big moments? Because sometimes when you're in these big moments and the crowd is crazy and the people are crazy, you look to lean on somebody who's like your like the person next to you. And I don't know if that comes into play. I don't know if like stuff starts to happen during a fight and the game plan goes out the window or you don't know how to adjust. I know that was a big reason behind Earl losing to Terrence Crawford. They said that Terrence started getting there that he didn't know what to do. So I don't know. I'm going with Tank, but those are my reasons as to why I'm supporting. I just don't know if the person coaching him has enough to beat Tank and what Tank has built over these years.
Me personally, I know this will sound weird, but I'm going with Frank. Frank Martin. Again, this is one of those situations. Not this is one of those situations, but I'm starting to see something in Tank that I saw like with Earl Spence, right? That even if it's not this fight, he's coming upon that time where we're gonna find out who he really is. Because I don't think, as of right now, we still know who Tank is, because we never seen him in trouble. We always see him as the bully. We always see him as the person running through everybody. So I think the time comes when, even if it's not this time, the time is coming where we're gonna see that put to the test. We gotta see a person in trouble to know who they really are. We saw Floyd Mayweather's under trouble, under duress, when that overright hand caught him by Shane Mosley, and then we saw what he became. We saw Adrian Broner become a different person with a counter left hand, but against Madonna. I've always seen fighters that are dominant always go out sad because they're not defensive really fighters. They're normally always bullying somebody. And even if it's not this fight, I think he'll get past this fight, but I'm still rooting for Frank Martin because that's something that I see.
Um,
And and also when it comes to coach, Derek James would be the coach that understand what it takes, because he been through it with Errol Spence. He's actually coached Ryan Garcia to dominate who is that?
Devin
Devin
Haney.
Haney. And then we've seen him coach the Charlos to what's that called when they got all the belts again?
He just
Um
lost, but he lost to Canelo.
Yeah, but he wasn't supposed to beat Canelo. That was like a money, just for the money fight. But Derek James would be the guy who knows how to fight these big fights. Even though the thing against Derek James is all his fighters fight the same. They're just a basic, just come forward type of person. But they rumor has it is that even Javante said it, that Frank Martin hit him with a brick hand in their sparring, and some people
Mhm.
say it wobbled him, but we don't know. I don't think he would win against Tank, but I'm rooting for him.
I don't respect that nigga Derrick James coaching style whatsoever. Mase made a good point. We got to see what happens. From what I'm hearing, I don't know too much about the nigga Tank is fighting. I've been watching. What I've been hearing is this kid is good. He's just taking this fight too early. From what I've been hearing, they've been telling me that if he would have waited a year and a half, it would have been better. He's jumping the gun. But look, he has a good record. We'll see what happens. The one person that I would say, Mason, I don't think that he was in trouble, but Rolly was putting a lot of pressure on Tank. He was coming forward the whole fight. He was leaning on Tank, and he ran into something bad. He ran into something. So I don't think Tank was in trouble that fight with Rolly, but he definitely was being pressed for them 7 rounds or 8 rounds or whatever that fight went to before Tank knocked him out. Rolly was the aggressor most of that fight. But we'll see what happens, man. I'm looking forward to the fight. If I have to make a decision, I'm going to go with Tank purely because I don't have any history on Martin. I don't really know his background. I'm not going to say a lot of y'all act like I do.
Yeah. The only person that probably could beat Tank at 135 is a young kid by the name of Mason. Rumor has it. He would be the one, but they probably never fight. His name is Abdullah Mason. No, for real. Is a young
From
guy. He
Cleveland.
got the good. Oh,
He's
he's
from
from
Cleveland.
Cleveland? Yeah, that boy is
It's the
serious.
Abdullah brothers, the Mason brothers.
Oh, yeah, he is serious.
There we have it. Well, Maurice, thank you for being here.
Mo, we appreciate you, man.
Always.
Okay. That's all the time that we have for today. Thanks for watching. And as always, it is what it is.